Get ready to succeed using our cutting-edge high-trust strategies and achieve the success you've always dreamed of both on and off the job. Welcome to Todd Duncan TV. Are you ready?
Hey, it's Todd Duncan. Welcome to episode 76 of Todd Duncan TV. Good to be with you again. Man, if you like what we do every week and you have teammates or friends that are in business, man, we would love for you to forward and share our videos with them. Let them know that we're making an impact in your life and that you would like the same for them. It's just a joy for me to every day see the inputs that come in through people watching the videos and just knowing that lives are getting changed. This episode is going to be an episode that's going to be specific to an industry example, but it will be generic enough that anybody who sells will understand the nature of how important this particular episode is. So 2 weeks ago, I was on a national conference call, and I had about 400 loan originators that were on that call, and there was a question that when we went into the live chat got asked that it was like the biggest tee-up softball shot ever that I could hit. What happens after a high-trust interview when a loan originator and a realtor or a builder have sat down and the interview goes well, the meeting goes well, the handshake is great, the expectation on the lender side is that the agent is going to start referring business. The promise the agent made was that they would start referring business. And then here's the key of the question. How come a week later, 2 weeks later, a month later, 6 months later, nothing's happening? And I want to tell you the reason why nothing happens after a sales call is made is because you have done nothing to make what needs to happen next happen as a commitment. I want to explain this, okay? So let's say that I originate loans and I help people buy homes and I do the financing, and let's say that one of my key referral sources are real estate agents and they meet with buyers and sellers who are going to need financing. So we have what we've built our whole company on is teaching people how to have unique conversations, high trust conversations, conversations of depth, conversations of meaning, conversations that yield opportunities for the lender to move from just kind of a vendor concept to a partner concept where they can really help the agent win. And people that do this well are seen. They see the traction they get from it. But the frustration for a lot of people is, how come when it feels like it goes well and it feels like there's a natural commitment, nothing happens? And it's because you haven't set in motion a predictable plan of follow-up. In fact, in all of our studies, there's only 15 out of every 100 sales professionals that have an integrated action plan after a sales call. And that just sounds somewhat crazy to me, right? And yet you've probably been guilty of it. I know that I have. I know that there have been times where the revealing to me has been maybe we're not getting as much business because we're not staying in touch as much, or we're not activating the plan, or even giving value, or whatever it could possibly be. And one of the comments that I made in this national call that I was on is that the longer you allow the environment to exist after a call where nothing is happening, the more reluctance you're going to have to try to make something happen. And you just can't be reluctant in selling and have something happen. So the way to solve this in this example is, if I have a great interview with a real estate agent on whom I want to rely for referrals, and that agent has a great interview with me as a lender, seeing how different and unique I am and what I can offer, then what I want to do is I want to right there, right then, right now, while trust is high, while the commitment has been made, while that emotion is flowing, and we're ready to go, I want to set in motion what that looks like. So here's what I would do. I would take out my mobile device. I would let this agent know that I'm going to give her or him a call every single week. I'm going to let him or her know that we're going to have a 15 to 20 minute dialogue, and I'm going to ask them 3 or 4 questions. Like, one of the questions might be, who are you going to show property to in the next 1 to 4 weeks that I haven't met with yet? That by meeting with them, I would be able to get them situated properly, get them in the best offer position, the best financial position possible, and make sure that they understand how valuable the relationship they have with you is. Who are those people? I want to ask these questions every single week. The reason why I want to ask them every single week is because if I'm asking them and you're thinking about them, then business is going to be happening. So I'm going to send you an invite. I'm going to put, Fridays, and maybe we agree that 2 o'clock is the call time. And so I do a 2 o'clock to a 2:20 slot or a 2 to 2:15, whatever it is. And I'm going to recur this every single week for 12 weeks. I'll have a start date of next Friday. I'll have an end date of 12 Fridays from now. You will be the invitee. I'll have your email address there. I'll make sure, I check this as recurring. I'll make sure I check this to alarm 15 minutes day before, both. It doesn't matter. Okay. But I'm going to invite you while I am in your presence to have a weekly meeting with me. And I'm going to send you, when that's all said and done, the invite. And I'm going to listen to it and I'm going to watch it show up on your mobile device. And right then, right now, right there, that agent is going to look at you and they're going to realize you are serious about success. You are serious about helping them out. And so you hear the ding go off on their phone, the invite has arrived, and they accept. You've done 2 things right now that put you in the elite sales performance group. First thing you've done is you've made sure there's a plan of action after the call, where most salespeople do not do that. The second thing that you've done that is even more important is that you have populated your calendar. You have time blocked a follow-up activity, which is arguably one of the most valuable activities there is. And so here's the big story. The big story is whatever you want to have happen in your life that involves growth has to be a recurring activity. It has to be something that happens on a regular basis. And if it's not planned and it's not scheduled and it's not on the calendar, it's probably not going to happen. If it involves another human being and you guys haven't agreed to a day, time, and and length of time and agreed to that, it's probably not going to happen. So at the end of the call, I got a text from the guy that asked me to do the call, and he said that was the best advice that I've ever heard given to a lender, to somebody who originates loans for a living. But it's not about lender and real estate agent. It's about, if I'm a sales professional, the money is in the follow-up. The money is, what do I do next? The service that I give you next, the things that I do next, the value that I add next, the questions I ask you next. Those are the things that make the relationship start to work. And so if you are guilty of not following up in the kind of way that I have articulated in any endeavor, right? If it's not making it to the calendar, if it's not a recurring task, if it hasn't been agreed to, and it can be agreed to between your mind and your heart, right? That can be an agreement. But if it hasn't been agreed to, there's an odds-on chance it's never going to happen. And so what I would like you to be thinking about is, what routines do I need to develop around follow-up? What routines do I need to develop around talking with my clients on a regular basis? I got an email the other day from one of our elite members who had referred out about $23,000 in commissions to a real estate agent. And the commissions that got referred out because this lender follows up with every single borrower they've ever closed a loan for every single year to do an annual mortgage review. And in the process of staying in touch with clients, found out that they wanted to list their home, they wanted to buy a bigger home, they needed to sell the home they had. And in that process was able to tie all those transactions to a give back that totaled about $23,000 in commissions. But that wouldn't have happened had there not been a routine and a regimen around following up with people, right? So what do I need to do to take my follow-up skills to level 10? That's the big deal. That's the big part of this particular episode. What do I need to do to take my follow-up skills to level 10 so that I'm always following up, always adding value, never missing an opportunity, and doing it consistently. One of my good friends who passed away 7 years ago, Zig Ziglar, used to say, prospecting is like taking a bath. If you don't do it every day, pretty soon you stink. I think that's the idea I want to get across on this video. If you don't do the things that matter most every day, pretty soon you're going to stink at doing those things. And when you stink at doing anything, you don't want to do it. And I will tell you, the number one thing that will kill you financially in your business is not having a great, solid follow-up plan. So that's your challenge between now and the next time we're together on another Todd Duncan TV episode. See you soon.